Now in this video we're going to expand to showing like end elevations as an individual mark versus it being inside of the part mark on the parts like we saw in the previous training video. So this is great if you're just quickly checking columns or sloped roofs, or if you have a floor elevation change and you want to quickly get the elevation value and note that in the model. You can use this tool to do that. Now first what I'm going to do is I'm going to slope this roof geometry. So I'm going to actually use another tool that we've got here called FastBeam. And this is a separate tool that you can purchase from CMK BIM Consulting. But let's just go ahead and grab this column so we can get the elevations here. And let's say that we want to change this to 52 foot. As an example, and then I'm just going to go ahead and say modify. You'll see that it stretches basically the beams that are framing into that column down, and then let's actually just grab this piece here and then we'll modify it so these other beams also kind of modify down, and then let's grab this beam and we'll modify it, and there we go. Now we've got pretty much a sloped roof here, a little bit extreme but shows you a good example. Now what I can do next is we come in here and we use this model elevation tool. So if we just double click on this to open up its dialog box, you can specify any of the basically the size and the offset and things like that, where the mark is actually aligned to. But the whole concept here is that you would pick basically 3 points to define the orientation. So let's say up here at the top as an example, I'll just start here with this first point, and then I'm going to say free. So that way it just snaps here, and then I'll just go in the Y direction to define my X, Y, Z, right? So that way it's shown in the plan view. If we actually stretched this, just so you can see, if you grabbed that Y point and then you just go from here vertical, then it'll display it vertically. And then it puts a little leader line from the origin up to where the text call out is at. So let's actually leave that like that. I like the vertical here. So let's just copy this from this location to each one of these. And then what's great about this is if you actually just select each one of these and press modify, you'll see that it shows those elevations truly what they are. So you can show this in plan view or elevation view if you want to quickly show like the elevation of embeds or like, you know, sloped roof here at the grid lines. You can easily see that beyond just the normal plan view call out. So that's really handy there. Now you can select multiple pieces at the same time. So if I, at the early stage of the job, I want to check my column elevations, especially for like anchor bolts and things like that, I may just grab a bunch of columns here, and then I'll use like, you know, the saved away standard settings, and then I just say apply the marks, and check it out. It automatically does that for you, so you don't have to do all that XYZ picking and all that. So based on the current work plane in the model, it'll automatically place the XYZ for you, and it'll do it based on the start point as well as the end point of whichever beams or columns that you pick here. So what's really great is I can quickly check that. I can check my splice elevation, make sure that that's correct, and then I know that I'm good to go. So again, this is just a generic, like basically a plugin by itself. So wherever that point is, the first point you pick, that's where it's located. If this framing modifies, this won't automatically move with it. You have to move basically the beams and this elevation marker at the same time, but it is parametric and will update if you do modify and move it.